So I thought having those lights here would make the setup look cool, but I mean, they only look cool, they only look somewhat nice in the dark. So this setup is just looking more and more trash for every video I put out here. Hey guys, it's your Bo the Doggo, and welcome back to Winds of Change, episode 28. And last episode we had our final heart-to-heart with every loyal character. So now, in this episode, we are gonna press the little button in the corner where we go to the next scene and then we continue the story. So I guess there will be no more hearts-to-hearts with anyone, so maybe there won't even be like conversations from now on, but everything from here on might actually be like a long cutscene. I don't know, but that's what I'm presuming. So we will see how many episodes there are left now. But yeah, let's go. Also, I hope you like my shirt. Yeah. Let's see here, the button here, and it says, would you like to end the journey? We are that close to the end? Okay, well, then we're ending the journey then, I guess. I descend the stairs of the Grand Library. The crisp Boltian air assaults me. I shiver as I stand in belief of how uninviting the city seems to be. If this is where I'd sit the throne, we'd need to change a lot. Looking around the area, it appears that everyone is here. I try to take a head count, just to make sure that that's correct. So did the vessels, did they win? Did they survive? And that's why they can be all here? This was the final attack. We needed all of our might. I see Damek shaking hands with the Monarch vessels. There they are. Good. They helped us secure this victory, and survived. They will be a valuable asset in holding the town square. I'm so thankful that I decided to make the vessels and not the seers. It was nice to see their full potential finally realized. With their incredible resilience, they outsmarted an enemy horde. It was in this exact moment that I knew that I made the right choice. Yes! When I make it to the bottom of the stairs, Damek waves me over. Our forces run around, seemingly taking on an infinite number of tasks. Everybody's doing something. It made everything seem more final. I could tell that this was the last time that I'd see a lot of these people. There was no way that we'd make this through without any casualties. Trying to tune out the final preparations, I make my way to Damek. Jeez, that's actually really harsh. Like, okay, some of these people here will not return after this attack. Jeez.
Good to see you, Monarch. I'm afraid there isn't much time to talk. We can't deny it. The attack has begun.
Already?
The Honor Guard should realize that we're here momentarily. After that, this area in the town square will be a war zone. Anybody who has an objective elsewhere should be leaving.
Okay, bye. Just as he says that, Pro walks by. Damek calls his name, and he quickly runs over. That's right, he was tasked with causing a distraction in the castle.
Hey, Damek, I was just about to leave.
With Grizz too, I presume?
Yes, of course. You know me. I'd never forget anything. You're in for the distraction of a lifetime, Monarch.
Nice. He smirks at me, a confident, cocky smile. It should be smooth sailing when we get into the castle.
Hey, Pro. Before you go.
He holds out his hand, and it trembles softly.
It's been an honor serving with you.
Aww.
I hope I see you again after this is over.
He shakes Damek's hand with a firm grip.
Trust me, the pleasure has been all mine. And I don't plan on dying. Too much riding to do.
The handshake is broken, and they give each other uneasy smiles. The kind of smile that acknowledge that they may never see each other again. And soon after that, Pro is on his way, off to face his fate directly, and unafraid.
I guess you should get going too, Monarch. Don't worry, I have more protection than I'll ever need. Our rebel forces, the Monarch vessels, and the Draconic army.
I wonder how this would have played out differently, because if they weren't loyal, so I mean, oh yeah, that is actually just like Mass Effect, because I know this, as I said in the episode before, that this game is inspired by Mass Effect, and just as there, you have to get everyone's loyalty for them to make the best performance, and it seems that that is what's happening here as well. Like, Damek is over his fear or is coping with his fear of touch with other people, so he could take like touch Dom Pro now, and Pro isn't afraid anymore because when he came in he was really convinced that he would die. And I know 410 was afraid about climbing, and when he got out he wasn't afraid anymore. So I wonder if I didn't get anyone's loyalty, they would probably all just fuck up. But now that they are loyal and I did the last heart to heart, they will do fine. I hope.
No matter what they throw at us, we'll be able to handle it. The true deciding factor in all of this is you and that blade. Be careful, rely on your comrades, and you'll win this for sure.
Okay, I believe in me and my comrades. He places a hand on my shoulder.
I know you can do this. Now we just need to cause a distraction. All those suits should be focusing on me.
Wasn't that the Pro's job?
If all goes as planned, you should find minimal resistance. Save your strength for the triumvirate. I think you'll need it. Anyway, don't worry about me. I'll have Hal by my side.
Nice. He looks around, confusion worn on his face. Maybe I should move a little here, so there. So you can see the boy here, a little bit at least.
Speaking of which, where is he? He should have been out here ages ago.
Before I can even respond, I hear a loud cracking noise. Turning to see the source, I see the door to the library smashed open. Algus is shoved through, landing face first on the stone, still tied up. Smoke billows out of the door and Howl exits the library. Oh right, yeah, he's burning down the library. Algus struggles on the ground, squirming like some sort of insect. A blaze, as bright as the sun itself, makes Howl look like a silhouette.
Hal, what are you doing?
Upon hearing Damek, he steps forward and grips Algus by the hair. Raising him to his knees, he looks down in horror at our massive army. Oh, I hope Damek Howl isn't going to kill Algus now because he knows the history or something. It was almost as if, in that moment, he knew that he was on the wrong side.
We've come here to destroy the Triumvirate and all that they stand for. Don't tell us you're backing down now that the moment is upon us.
We all stare in awe as Howl pulls out a dagger, holding it in his free hand. Is he actually gonna do it? The smoke and the bright illumination reveal to us the frightening fact. Howl had torched the inside, burned the books, and his culture.
No, of course not! I would never give up when we're so close. Come down here, Howl. Explain yourself!
Howl shakes his head, disobeying Damek's order, running the dagger along Algus' throat, and then kicks him down the stairs? What? Just like that? A trail of blood follows him all the way down, steaming against the cold snow. What? What? I didn't know you would do that! What? No!
The monarchy is dead, Damek. Do not cling to memories like us.
He slowly descends the stairs, the crimson dagger dripping blood. As the flames shoot out the front door, Howl's face is finally lit up. It appears devoid of all feeling, even after what he had done.
Howl, stand down!
Damek immediately draws his sword, holding it towards Howl.
Stand down? All we've done is carry out our orders. Kill the Triumvirate and their supporters, correct? As their servant, Algus deserves the same fate.
Damek's arm trembles, realizing Howl was right.
And we needed a beacon to lure the honor guard to the square. A beacon that no matter how hard they try, they cannot put out. Burning the library made sense. They are not permitted inside.
Oh, so they can't, put the fire out.
Do not mourn for what has already been lost, Damek. The honor guard will be here in just a few moments. Preparing your army would be a much better action.
Howl throws the dagger onto the ground.
The battle for Alestia has begun.
Ooh! It's kinda cool, actually. Damek lowers his sword, letting out a loud sigh. Howl was right. Algus served the enemy, making him an enemy. And the beacon was paramount to our success. It could not be put out.
I don't believe this.
Howl finally makes it to our location and stands beside us. He shrugs, almost like this isn't a big deal at all.
Drastic measures must be taken in order to ensure our victory. The righting of a long-dead culture is a small price to pay. You should be on your way, Monarch. The time is now.
He's right. I had to make my way to the castle. If I use the mountain pass, I should find little resistance. Every suit of armor would soon be on their way to the library.
Do not forget Sovi, either. He volunteered to accompany your group. Make use of the knowledge he has on Baltheus.
I mean, after the night yesterday, I could never forget about Sophie. I nod. This was happening so fast, but I could waste no time. We knew this was coming. We knew that we had to take action. I start to walk away, but Dame calls out to me a moment later.
Hey, be careful, okay?
Okay.
I want to see you there when we regroup in the atrium. If all goes as planned, you'll be seeing me there too.
I smile and nod. That would have to suffice as a goodbye. After I gather over Valessa, Ulrich, Fortem and Sophie, we head out. If we hurried, we could get through the town square before the suits came. In our haste, we say almost no word to each other. There was a silent agreement that the task at hand was more important. In knowing that any words could be our last, silence seems more appropriate. Oh! This is... Oh, I like this. Oh. Haley knelt before his masters, more eager to serve than he had ever been before. He looked up at them, awaiting their orders, perhaps the final order that I would give. It would be up to him to lead the honor guard and assure their victory today.
Right, Halen. It seems they seek to deceive us. But it's nothing we haven't seen before.
Wait, have this fight happened before in other dimensions or universes? Is this not the first time this is happening? Ah!
Deception? That seems to be their strength. What will you have me do, masters?
Man the atrium. Stay in the castle. We shall let them exhaust their forces for now. When they come here, you can finish them off.
You mean to fall into their trap?
Doing so would make it our trap, Halen. Besides, their deaths will feed the blade even more. We need it as strong as possible when it is brought back to us.
So that you can restart the loop?
For what reason?
Do you doubt us?
No, of course not. I was merely curious, that's all.
Then your curiosity will have to linger. You have your orders, Halen. Now see them out. In a few hours, everything should be over for good.
Ooh. Halen wondered. But for what side?
Yes, whatever you say. When they arrive in the atrium, consider them dead. I will paint the walls with their blood, or else besmirch them with my own.
Thank you, Halen. Now be on your way. We will send the honor guard to the town square to weaken them. There is no time to waste. The end of everything is upon us.
Without a word, Halen is off on his way. In this moment, he truly became the Grand Inquisitor. Last line of defense between the Triumvirate and a weak insurrection.
The end? Or perhaps another new beginning. Steel yourselves, brothers. You know what's coming.
Oh my god. They all look at each other and nod. For the first time in ages, doubt fills the chambers. Thankfully, nobody was there to witness such a fault. Ooh, I'm so curious what is going on. I want to know. Oh, is it still Halen? Pro and Gris enters the Triumvirate's castle, careful not to attract attention. The staircase in the middle is the one that led to the chambers for sure. This meant that they had to lure the honor guards off to the left or right side. So, are you telling me that if Gris sacrificed himself to destroy that idol in Mazeo, would Pro have to do this alone? Jeez. Paths on either side of the stair leads to another section of the castle. If Pro had to guess, he'd say that it led to living quarters or practice rooms. Much to their luck, a horde of honor guards was gathering at the base of the stairs.
Alright. How can we lure them away? Think, Pro, think! You can do this!
Not so loud, Pro. We need a plan before they find us. Let's look for something we can use as a distraction.
Pro examines the area and noticing large metallic stands holding lit candles. That would be sure to cause a distraction, but how would he use it? His eyes are drawn to a large stained glass window lining the hall.
That'll have to do. Come on, Gris. Let's do this already. Hopefully the Monarch isn't too far behind.
He starts moving towards the candle holder, but Gris grabs his shoulder.
No, not that side. It leads to the dining hall and a dead end. You'd only be signing your own death warrant.
Whoops. Pro nods without a word, and they make their way to the other side of the room. So that is what would happen then if Gris wasn't here. Pro would have done that, and then got caught in the dining room. They both grab one of the stands and shake off the candles on either end. It hits the ground and the wax shatters in almost every possible direction.
Hey! Over here!
In unison, both Pro and Gris starts breaking the windows with their new weapons. The honor guards takes notice immediately and starts sauntering over. Pro grins, laughing softly at how easy it was to distract the suits.
Perfect. Now we just need to make a trail. Come on! Don't let us get away!
They run down the hallway, shattering window after window. A trail of broken glass is left behind for the suits to follow after. However, they move slow on purpose, keeping an eye out on the horde. Ooh, exciting. Howl and Damek stand side by side in the town square of Baltius. They can hear the sound of the honor guards marching to their location. Echoes of steel grating against steel assaults their ears as they wait.
How many do you think there are?
Not enough.
Well, at least you're confident.
Damek brushes off some ash off his shoulder. Remnants of the books from the library fill the air. From behind, one of their allies steps forward.
They're almost here. I can tell. Be on your guard. I'll have my men protect you.
Yes, of course, I appreciate it. I'll be watching their backs as well.
Now all three of them were standing side by side. The footsteps of the honor guard got louder and louder. They stepped in unison, sounding like a heart that beat too fast.
Reminds me of those drums in the Colosseum. Every time they played, I knew that death would follow. Let's hope that it does, but not for any of us.
If we are in danger, do not come to our aid. Especially if it would endanger the lives of others. Remember, by all accounts, we are already dead.
Dead inside. Vivian shakes his head.
No matter what you say, you're an ally. And believe it or not, I prefer to keep those alive. As long as you breathe, you're living and of use.
But does he breathe? As they talk, the first of the honor guards comes into view. One stood in front of the rest, as if assigning themselves the role of leader. It was odd, they all thought, that such mindless suits had a sense of hierarchy. However, there was no time to think about such trivial things. Mere moments later, the rest of the suits gathered behind their leader. On the other side of the town square, it seemed like thousands had arrived.
It appears that we may be outnumbered. But remember, those things aren't known for their smarts. Each one of us could easily take down 100 or more.
Nice.
Let's hope that you're correct.
Damek gulps and draws his sword. Everybody behind him does the same, and the sound fills the town square. Even from the opposite side, all they can hear is an unsheathing of blades. But when everybody is armed, nothing happens. They stand on opposite sides, both forces staring at one another. Damek looks left and right to his allies before speaking out.
It appears they want us to make the first move. Probably so they can counter. That makes it easier. Just anticipate it, and come up with a counter of your own.
Even after his instruction, nobody makes a move. The ash in the air thickens, remnants of the monarchy showering over them. Damek takes a few steps forward and holds his sword up in the air.
We fight to liberate those stuck under the Triumvirate's thumb, in the name of all those who have fallen, and all those who will come. A new future will dawn here today, one of happiness and peace for all.
Yeah! The soldiers cheer, holding their swords up in the air as well, but soon after, they fall back down, resting in a fighting position. Damek says nothing, simply holding his sword towards the enemy. And that was enough to spring the army into action. Charging towards the honor guard, steel soon clashes against steel. Screams fill the town square as both sides meet and clash in the middle. Damek and Howl remains behind everybody, watching the initial charge. They wait for an ample opening and join the army at the right time. Howl places a hand on Damek's shoulder and gives him a soft nod.
Damek, it is time.
In response, he gulps and looks up at Howl.
Yeah. This is it.
He catches a bunch of falling ash in his hand. After looking at it for a moment, he crushes it in a fist.
Charge!
And mere seconds later, they were lost in the crowd. Ah! It's really going down now, jeez! Oh, that was cool. I like that. We arrive at what seems to be the summit of the mountain pass. Though we took the long way around, I could still hear fighting in Baltius. Swords clashing against swords, and the screaming of agony found only in war. I was a bit ahead of everyone else, so I let them catch up. When they do, Sovi decides to approach me for a chat.
We're almost there. It won't be much longer. As soon as we turn the next corner, you'll see the castle. This is probably the best place for Fortem to leave our side.
Oh, time to climb.
I know his task is dangerous, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I've heard nothing but good things about his ability to climb. I'm more worried about what will happen to us in the castle.
I shrug. There was really no way to know. Hopefully, Pro was able to cause his distraction.
I normally hate relying on others, you know. In a bind, I can only really count on my own skills. But you and your friends have started to change my mind. We're pressed for time, so I won't draw this out any longer. Just know that I'll have your back in there, as I'm sure you'll have mine. If we make it through this unscathed, I'll know it was a team effort.
I nod as Sovi turns away and starts to look around the area. It appears like he's been here before and finds great comfort in it. A few seconds later, my attention is diverted towards an aesthetic Fortem.
Whoa! This is so cool! That statue! I've never seen anything like it! Ulrich, what is it? Do you have any idea?
Ulrich turns to face a large intimidating statue.
Yeah, Alestia wasn't always fully mapped out. This is an artist's depiction of the Draconic people. At least a depiction made in fright during first contact.
First contact?
Imagine being the first mainlander to arrive in Alarinthia. The people there reacted with hostility, attacking almost instantly. He was an unlucky man, and he fled almost as quickly as he got there.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. When he got back to Museo, he told everyone his story. But his account wasn't right. Fear can warp anything you see. Even when he was proven wrong, the design still stuck.
Yeah, he must have seen them as monsters. The reptile people. The Illuminati.
They're often used to scare away potential visitors. So it makes perfect sense that there'd be one in a place like this. It's guarding a shortcut that leads right to the Triumvirate's home.
Well, it's not gonna scare me away. I have the most important task of all.
Ulrich nods, and Fortem quickly walks over towards me. I can tell that he's frightened, but he looks hopeful as well.
I promise you, I'll make it through this. You better be in that atrium waiting for me. No way we're failing now. This is the end.
This is the end. We give each other a quick hug, perhaps our last hug. He looks around and shakes his head with a loud sigh.
Well, I guess I should get going. I need to take a different path than the rest of you. I'm not used to being on my own, but I'll manage.
Before he heads out, he hugs Valessa. They share a few words together, and then he's off on his way. His path would lead to the tower, while ours would lead directly inside.
I guess we should go too. The sound of all that fighting is really scaring me. One side has to be winning, but which one is it?
It's best not to pay it any mind. We have our own task, Valessa.
Right, of course. Wanna lead the way?
He nods, and then starts walking away from us. We gather together and follow him close behind.
We're going to win this. I can feel it.
She smiles and offers me her hand, so I grab it and hold it as we follow Ulrich. I pray with every fiber in my being that she is right. After what seems like an eternity, the Triumvirate's castle comes into view. I've never been more terrified in my life. The end was finally within reach. Oh! The castle looks just as corrupt and decaying as everything else. Almost even more so, like it could be the source of all this death. As we get closer, I look over at the exterior, and then I see Fortem. He's climbing the tower just as directed. It's a sight to behold. If we could get to that bell tower, then the war would surely be ours. But I see him struggling. This castle was clearly his hardest climb. With no safety nets, any slips would be fatal. I try not to think about it as we arrive at the bridge of the castle. Much to our dismay, the bridge is completely covered in suits of armor. They turn to face us as soon as we approach. A few seconds later, they start to march towards us. They're slow. Our presence took some time to register. Normally, I'd be conflicted. These things are too easy to slay. But this was a veritable horde. Hundreds, maybe even 1,000. It must be another group en route to the burning library.
Stay behind me. We can use this bridge to our benefit. They can't get around us or sneak out from behind. It's almost like a funnel. It should be easy.
Me and Valessa give Ulrich a firm nod, and Solvi stands by his side. A moment later, in perfect unison, they both charge into the crowd. The honor guard stood no chance, not against two former Grand Inquisitors. The suit starts to crumble and fall as they fight across the bridge. Ulrich's greatsword and Solvi's fists kill almost 10 or more each second. However, as I look to the back, I notice that a bunch of suits have bows. I shout out to Ulrich and Solvi, letting them know of the danger.
I know, but don't worry, these things have bad aim. Just grab one of those suits and use them as a shield. They'll wear out their numbers by killing their own.
I suppose that's a good strategy. After I unsheath the Blade of Exodus, I step forward. My goal is to find a good opening so I can hop in and assist them. But no such opening comes. They slay with unmatched expertise. The two fight side by side, as if they are one entity. Perfect synergy. Me and Valessa notice the archers in the back prepare to shoot.
Quick, grab one!
We both rush forward and each disarm one of the enemies. With no mean to fight us back, we hold them in place. Any hours coming our way would hit them first. A perfect plan, if that's actually what the archers were planning. Much to our shock, as the chaos of the bridge unfolds, they turn around. Oh no, they're gonna shoot at Fortem! They're no longer aiming in our direction. They are aiming straight for Fortem. No!
Fortem, look out!
Her call falls upon deaf ears. He was too far away to hear. Ah! There was no way that any of us could prevent what happened next. They let their arrows fly. Some miss, but one pierces Fortem's side! No! No! He immediately starts to lose his grip, and it appears that he may fall off. There's nothing we could do. We can't call out to him, or get up there to help. I have to do something quickly. They're preparing to shoot him again.
Quick, run along the side of the bridge. It should be wide enough to use as a path. Get back there and take out those archers.
I don't take her suggestion to heart. I have my own idea. Running forward and pushing Ulrich and Solvi out of the way, I ready my sword. They'd pay for hurting my friend. Every single one of them should pay. I thrust the blade through one of the suits and then look over at Fortem. He looks so weak and delirious, and moments later he falls from the tower. No. That sight alone is enough to fill me with more rage than I've ever felt before. Activating the blade, that familiar flash of white light blinds all of us. I can hear my allies struggling, as if they were still fighting while blinded. But a few seconds later, I hear nothing but shattering from every suit of armor. As the light subsides, we are greeted to the sight of victory. Every member of the honor guard on the bridge was dead. I absorbed them into the blade, making it even stronger.
Huh?
Monarch, did you do that?
I nod. I tell them that I used the emotion inside of me as a catalyst. The emotion from seeing Forten fall, perhaps to his death. As we glance over to the tower though, I see that I was wrong. He holds on to the edge of a window and struggles to climb inside. So he wanted to drop and fall into a window and get inside to safety. I can see that his clothes are covered in blood from the arrow wound. Eventually, he makes it inside and we're all relieved. For a few seconds there, it seems like all hope was lost.
Thanks for stepping in like that. My sword arm was starting to get a little tired. Come on, let's get going. We don't have much time.
Me, Sylvia and Ulrich smile at one another. Valessa, however, has a look of shock on her face.
Oh no.
We turn to face the same direction as her. She's looking back towards the town square and the bulk of the battle. Another horde is marching in our direction, likely attracted by the fight.
Just our luck.
We all ready our weapons. We watch them walk towards us in unison. An unease fills the air. I doubt that I can deactivate all of them. I only did that thanks to the surge of emotion for seeing Forten shot. It wouldn't be right of me to rely on something like that yet again. Part of me wonders if we should flee inside or fight them off in the castle. But we had no idea what awaited us inside, or if Pro was even successful. Valessa steps forwards, standing in front of us. She trembles, perhaps terrified of what's to come.
You need to go.
What are you talking about?
I said you need to go. Get inside the castle. Help Fortem kill the Triumvirate. Just do it. Let me keep them occupied. I'll fight them off.
You alone?
Valessa, that's suicide.
We don't have any other option. The Monarch needs you and Ulrich.
No, I'll stay and fight. I know how those things work.
This isn't up for debate. You need to go. Now.
Solveig backs down, realizing there is no point. Each second needed to be filled with an action, not inaction. If we wasted time, we would just hand the victory over to the enemy. Valessa pulls out her mother's daggers with a gulp. I guess taking them from Azarion was a good idea after all. My mind tells me to talk her out of this, but I say nothing. If she fought hard enough, she'd be able to survive. Those suits are weak and mindless, so I feel like she'd be okay. I justify her choice in my mind, perhaps because I know that it's inevitable. She wraps her arms around me and gives me a tight hug. I return it, and then she looks up at me and kisses my lips. After telling her that I love her, I tell her to stay safe and survive.
Is that an order?
Yes. Yeah.
Then I guess I have no choice. I love you, Monarch. Never forget that.
Oh, I'm shivering.
I'll see you in the atrium when this is all over.
Yes, please come to the atrium. And a moment later, we're both off in opposite directions. But as we headed towards the castle, I can't help but to look back. I'm both worried and hopeful, and both sides are at war. I see her charge into the crowd, holding out her daggers. The sound of her stabbing the suit soon fills the air. They fall apart and hit the ground with loud thuds.
Come on! I could do this all day!
With a smirk on my face, I realize her victory is clear. We retreat into the castle, and the sight makes my jaw drop. The castle is hauntingly beautiful, like nothing I've ever seen before. As we venture forward, I can only hope that Pro was successful. The bell hasn't rung yet, but I have the utmost faith in Forten's ability. I let out a deep sigh of relief. I'm here, in the castle. This is the end. And that is where we are ending this episode. So it seems that next episode might actually be the last one. Or maybe there will be 2 more. But oh my god, we're actually getting to the end of this whole thing. Oh, I'm excited to see the end of this. Oh, thank you to my patrons for supporting me. If you wanna have your name here and join our epic hangouts that we have once a month, check out the Patreon in the description. But anyways, even if you're not a patron, I still love you. So remember that you are loved and appreciated. And you should be proud of who you are. And I want to see you in the next episode. Bye! Little did you know that my shirt was actually 2 pair of underwears. I'm a grown man.